Alright guys, welcome back. Let's start with the Watchers today. This is the most important choice, in my opinion, out of all the weapon slots, as your Watch is the one that affects your playstyle the most. Once you've worked out which damage revolver you prefer and which knife fits your playstyle the best, you have the choice between all three Watchers: the Invis, the Cloak and Dagger, C&D, and the Deadringer, or the DR. Start with the Invis. It's good all the time. It just is really, really good. If you're picking your paths and targets decently enough, you can guarantee yourself a single pick every life. Even more than one if you're just picking off single targets or get lucky and chainstab half the enemy combo. The demo, medic, heavy, maybe pyro. The 9 seconds, I think about 12-ish with the L'étranger, is more than enough to move through any sightline in the game, even like Swiftwater's third point, the really, really big hill. You can move across that with the Invis. It pairs really well with every weapon and it's just fun to use. If you're having a bad day or you really need to focus single player, I'd choose it over the Deadringer because positioning is really easy with the Invis and it's the easiest shortcut to doing well as Spy. Even the best teams can't hold down a really good Invis Spy. Even if they're spy checking complete shit, there'll always be one guy that's kind of a little bit off, or you can Invis behind them and then ambi headshot them to pull them back, which lets your sniper get a pick a little bit easier. There's always something you can do with the Invis, even if you yourself can't necessarily get kills with it, you can always at least help your team with it with positioning. It's really good. So, let's move on to the Cloak and Dagger. The Cloak and Dagger is your comms watch. If you're having a really, really, really shit day, you can always just give comms. Comms will help teams, they'll help you win losing matches. Calling the medic's percentage, medigun, if the enemy's pushing, where they're pushing from, anything like that can help you contribute to a win. The Cloak and Dagger is mostly good on defense, I find, especially on maps like Swiftwater with long sightlines, where you might just want to sit out in the open waiting for a sniper to pick with your damage gun, probably the ambi on something like Swiftwater, or maps like Steel, which are really slow, because then you do have the time to crawl yourself into an ideal position to wait for a pick. It's really good on maps like Barn Blitz defense as well, because your team tends to turtle on the last point. With the Cloak and Dagger, you can wait outside for the enemy to push, wait around Barn or something, and then pick off one of the combo classes where they're pushing in, which could potentially stop the push, or slow it down at least. I think it's one of the best, I think it probably is the best watch for timing, but it's definitely second to the Invis for trying to get a good position. Finally, the Deadringer. This is the gun spy watch. If you want to stab shit, you can use the Invis, or the Cloak and Dagger. But if you're having a good aim day, or you're playing Asheville, payload defense, or just any Koth map really, the Deadringer is really fucking good. If you can aim well with either the revolver or the ambi, it doesn't have to be the ambi, you can easily play on the flank, assisting your scout, a soldier, or replacing one of them. You can push the combo out, you can hold down an entire room by yourself, or with a scout on something like Steel, assuming too many people don't try and push through. It's really easy on, I think you're holding the giant moving doors on Steel. You can hold that lobby with a scout, with an ambi. As long as you headshot the soldier that's trying to push in, they tend to shit themselves and run away because your scout could easily just two-shot them. So it's quite good for playing on the flank. It's really good on maps like Swiftwater and Gravel Pits with the ambi, I find as well, because it means you don't have to always try and find cover to avoid snipers and pyros, because you can run fast enough to escape pyros, and you always have the ability to block any headshot except for a backstab or a full charged Machina headshot. I also quite like it on Koth maps because gun aggression lets you sit on the enemy side, taking down the sniper. It's not as good on payload offense though, unless your team's completely rolling or the enemy team doesn't really have a flank. The only time I really find it would be good on payload offense would be if the enemy team's holding upward, kind of upward fourth holding the cliff, you can kind of sit around behind them and, just kind of annoy the team a bit, but you're going to do a little bit better if you, try and invis and stab someone. Make sure though, unless you have completely god tier aim, or at least decently consistent, try not to run it 24/7. I did in season 16 or 17, I can't remember, it was a couple of seasons, last year. I did run it for the whole season because Toast was shouting at me for changing my loadouts too often. And I probably missed out a lot of opportunities because of just running the DR, and probably might have even lost some maps from my team because I wasn't able to focus the combo enough. To summarise, Invis good all the time, really, really good for positioning. Cloak and Dagger is really good for slow maps, stuff like Steel, defense, that kind of stuff, giving comms and waiting, and the Deadringer is really good for gun aggression, playing on the flank and playing on wide open maps. That'll basically cover it all though for the Watchers. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you have any particular questions, make sure to leave them in the description, and I will see you next time with Disguises. Goodbye.